Hello and welcome back to the Saints Squad Show. I'm your Dylan Sanders of Saints Wire and Pelicans Roundtable, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm already at the point where I'm not looking at my brackets in the slightest.
I'm Ross Jackson, host of Locked On Saints podcast, and Chris Bell, the wide receiver out of Louisville, is somebody that I would get really excited about in a New Orleans Saints jersey.
Would it make us?
And hey, I'm Doug Mouton, the sports director at WWL TV, and the one thing I am positive that we're going to talk about on this show is too many beers. The greatest sports quote of the year so far. And I want to deep dive into Tyler Shuck potentially maybe having too many beers. I think it's awesome.
And I am John Barnes. I have been called many things, including the voice of the Saints fans. And to that, I want to say, sorry, Saints fans.
It's the Saints Squad. Everything New Orleans Saints, every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from down in the Big Easy, the way only Locked On Podcast Network can. Get ready and squad up. It's the Saints Squad Show, starting now.
Howdy, Good Nation, and welcome back to the Saints Squad Show, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen twice a week here on our off-season schedule. Today is a very interesting off-season show. We have incredibly unique group of experts here ready to bring a fun and informative show on everything New Orleans Saints. Today, we're going to be diving into what we were wrong about, which, we're not wrong often. We're not.
I mean, my bad. I mean, yeah, we're always right. What do you mean?
I was wrong about that. I'll be honest. The most New Orleans moments. I said recent years on the side there. The past year. We're gonna have a bracket because it's bracket season of the options to pick at number 8, and very specifically, draft prospects that make us go, ooh! Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into even bigger potential wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. All right, let's get into this. I think we have to get started. And Ross, I know we start with you a lot. We're not starting with you.
No,
today.
not me.
We're not starting with you today.
No.
I think we
have illustrious guests.
The voice of Saints fans. What draft prospect could the Saints select that makes John Barnes go, ooh?
I mean, you got to be kidding me. Like, we got a panel with Doug Mouton.
We're starting with you, baby.
They say, wow, you asked John Barnes first with this esteemed panel. I don't understand, guys. But, when you say ooh, we can get ooh, ooh. I'll say who.
No, first one.
Will make me go ooh, and that's Mansoor Delane, and that is because we brought him in for a top 30 visit. And I don't think Saints fans, as much as we love the idea of always drafting LSU players, didn't think of how much of a realistic option it was for us to draft the LSU cornerback with a top 8 pick. Mansoor Delane. The question would be, is he worth a top 8 pick? He already has the other intangibles that we would love as Saints fans. He's a local kid. He has a dog named Nola. I learned that this week. To be honest, I think the cornerback position is a position that we as a fan base may not be giving enough attention to. We lost Alontae Taylor in free agency to the Tennessee Titans. Kool-Aid is technically our number 1 wide receiver. Cornerback. Do we trust Kool-Aid to be a number 1 cornerback going forward? Or do we really want to solidify that position by taking a highly touted prospect who just happens to be a local kid from LSU? Mansoor Delane has made me go, ooh, that might actually be a realistic choice at number 8 for the New Orleans Saints in the 2026 draft.
I love that. That's excellent.
Yeah, me too.
I love that.
That's excellent. Yeah.
The thing that's awesome about him too is just from a play perspective, outstanding in man and zone coverage. Yeah. Allowed one of the lowest completion percentages in college football last year at the outside corner position when it comes to draft eligible cornerbacks. This is a dude that could absolutely make the New Orleans Saints cornerback room the best in the NFL amongst being selected. Because I'm that high on Kool-Aid McKinstry and I'm that high on Quincy Riley already. And then you add Mansoor Delane to that equation. Yeah, that's cooking with gas right there.
Now here's go ahead, Doug.
And he did it in the SEC. So there's no level
right.
of competition questions. He did it this past year in the SEC and was dominant. And Mickey Loomis does have a history in this part of the draft recently with Marshawn Lattimore, who was the NFL. And I know Lattimore by the end, people had sort of soured on him, but he was the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year and was a great draft pick for his first few years. Mickey Loomis has had success with this position very recently in the draft. Look, I think there are some positions that Mickey Loomis wouldn't hit with a top 10 pick. He sort of told us that last year, but I think cornerback is one that he would hit. I think Mansoor Delane in the last, I don't know, maybe in the last month, certainly since Alontae Taylor became realistically gone or actually gone, he has become a very realistic possibility. And for sure, I think that's a great take.
Question: Do you guys think? I'm sorry. Do you guys think that fans overall will be excited about taking a cornerback? Because we kind of, as fans, have ingrained ourselves into the idea of, we're going to draft Jeremiah Love. But now that might seem unrealistic given who we signed in free agency and how highly touted Love is. We're going to draft a wide receiver. We're going to finally draft one of these sexy skill players. Do you guys think taking a cornerback, even with the added shoe tag on him, is going to excite the fan base?
Yeah, I think it's the same answer no matter what position you put there, Jono. Yes, people are going to be excited, and yes, people are going to hate it. That's just what it's going to be. That's the draft.
In my experience, fans are pretty smart. Like, I think the New Orleans / Louisiana football fan, look, we may not be smart about everything. There may be plenty of things that we're dumb at. But I think one thing that Louisiana knows is football. And I think when realistic, smart fans look at this team right this minute, they say, you know what? We could really use a cornerback. And this dude was unreal at LSU. I think overall, Ross is 100% right. You're still going to get some hate. But I think overall, this would go over very positive.
Yeah. We can't manage drinking water, but we can manage football here. We can do that.
We can't manage water of any kind.
The only Mansoor Delane stat that I need is in 358 coverage snaps, he allowed 7 first downs last year and did it while hurt. While hurt.
Wow.
That's wild. All right, Doug. What prospect makes you go, ooh?
Oh, well, there's no doubt. When I watch for like spectacular guys. Jeremiah Love's the guy that makes me go, ooh, when I watch him. He is unbelievable to watch. Now, is he a realistic play now after free agency? Honestly, probably not. Maybe he could be or even should be, but just knowing the way Mickey Loomis thinks, my guess is, I'm not saying he's off the table, but he's pushed to the very end of the table. And to me, the two most realistic guys right now, Mansoor Delane and Ruben Bain, or whichever of those, whichever is the best of the edge rushers is still on the board. To me, that's the most realistic two options for the Saints right now. But Jeremiah Love's absolutely the guy that I get most excited about watching just because he's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, he's just an incredible playmaker, right? Like, they just don't make him like that.
No,
they just don't make him like that.
I just don't think he falls to number 8, given how good of a pro day he had. I will say this. Also, you had that Alvin Kamara cloud over the team. Is he retiring? Are we trying to cut him after June 1st? What's going to happen? I will say this, though, Doug. If Jeremiah Love is there at number 8, this is a Reggie Bush situation where, yes, we got Deuce McAllister, but you cannot pass on that talent. You draft the best talent, you make it work. Sean Payne was able to make it work. I believe Kenneth Moore can make it work. I hope that Jeremiah Love falls to 8 because he was the guy that I had like a teenage girl with a poster on my wall. I'm like, oh man, you gotta do Jeremiah Love in the draft. And then after his field day, I was like, well, that's probably not happening. Tennessee or Washington, maybe even the Giants might take him. But if he somehow falls to 8, if all the other teams before us say, nah, that's too high to take a running back, I hope Kenneth Moore does the sensible thing and says, we need talent still. We're not a Super Bowl ready team. Let's take the best player available and see what happens with him and A-Chain. And maybe
I did this on the Ultimate New Orleans Sports Show, which Doug and I host over at Channel 4, and I'll do it here for this panel as well. Here's my impression of the New Orleans Saints front office drafting Jeremiah Love. This is after they've drafted Jeremiah Love, when they realize now they have multiple running backs on their roster. Here's what they do. They go, oh, no, we have too many good players. It's not a big deal. It's not a bad option. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
I would certainly. Everyone that's listened to this show knows that I'm so in on Jeremiah Love, and I still would be excited. But some shine's been taken off of the fact that it would be a shared
100%.
But awesome player. Ross.
I'm going to bring a little. Yeah. Oh, do you want to ask the question? Because I know you like saying it.
I do like
God, video of his moment.
Ross, what draft prospect makes you go, ooh?
I'm going to take us in a little bit of a different direction. I'm going to go round 2 for this one. There are great ones in round 1, great ones at pick 8, but I'm going to go round 2, pick 42, and I'm going to go with Louisville wide receiver Chris Bell. I think this dude could still be, especially if, the biggest question mark around him was going to be the medicals, right? Is he going to be okay to play, all that kind of stuff? We're hearing now that there's a very large likelihood, and he told us this himself in Indianapolis at the Combine, that there's a large likelihood that he'll be ready to go by training camp. I would imagine an NFL team saying, that's great, but we're going to wait a little bit longer than just getting you started out at training camp. But if that's the case, that answers the biggest question. The Saints have no yards after catch threat. The best yards after catch threat that they have on this roster as a pass catcher is Juwan Johnson. You need somebody that's going to be able to do more for you at the wide receiver position. Over 900 receiving yards last year, and already also has the connection with quarterback Tyler Shuck, the two of them together in Tyler Shuck's final year of college in 2024. And so for me, Chris Bell, in terms of what he brings with chemistry with Shuck, what he brings in terms of his ability to be able to be a game breaker and a big time playmaker for the offense, that's the type of prospect that makes me go, ooh, in the second round, to where you don't even necessarily have to go wide receiver in the first round and still end up winning this draft in the first 2 days.
Well, we have a good history lately of drafted Louisville players in the second round, so I don't think a lot of people would be opposed to it. The question I would have to play devil's advocate is, do we take a gamble on him? And I use the word gamble loosely, but he is, as you say, with the medical history, something to think about. Given the fact that our wide receiver room right now has a lot of medical questions to it with the guys we have in that room, is Chris Bell the guy that you want to take in the second round, given that you already have a wide receiver room with injury questions to ours, though?
I think the fact that the wide receiver room already has injury questions in there tells you just how willing the Saints would be.
The question is the answer. I like that.
Clearly, they're fine with it. You know what I mean? And it's different than investing in like Jordan Tyson with question marks at 8, which I would also love. Don't get me wrong, because I think Jordan Tyson's really good, but it's different when you're investing at 42. And I'll say this too: the ACL story around the NFL is not what the ACL story used to be back when we were growing up watching football, right?
Right.
Y'all were growing up watching football.
All right, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm young. I'm really young.
All right, Dylan. It was you too.
You too? The band?
You were
really
also
are old.
You got Bono on the show, not Bono. Come on, guys.
I'll say this, it is a case-to-case basis. It's always different, depending on the injury. But scared money don't make money.
Scared money don't make money.
Saints have lived by that.
Money.
Oh wow!
I
would be excited for Chris Bell. Him and Tyler Shuck already have a great personal relationship and on the field relationship. So I felt like going to this offseason, the motto should have been put weapons around Tyler Shuck. We are building around a quarterback on a second round contract, by the way. So I'm not surprised he made the splashes of free agency, but build as much around Tyler Shuck as possible. Give him everything that we feel like we can to maximize his potential as a quarterback, so that we can really see if this guy is the real deal, the way we fans and analysts believe that Tyler Shuck would be. So I would be very excited for this.
And you talk about not being afraid. If you think back at last year's draft, they had identified Tyler Shuck as the guy they thought could be their quarterback of the future. And they had a pick at 40, and they waited. And they waited. And in so many previous drafts, they couldn't wait any longer. And they traded up and gave away draft capital and traded next year's number 1. And last year, they waited and waited and waited and got their guy. And just that kind of moxie, that kind of just fearlessness in the draft leads me to believe that almost anything's possible. The only thing Mickey Loomis was afraid of last year in the draft, and it's what he told us in the first round, was he said, when you have a top 10 pick, you can't swing and miss. You have to at least hit a single or a double. And that's what I said. That's what I told Rod Walker. I said, well, they're clearly taking Kelvin Barnes, because he just told us they're not going to take a swing at a quarterback. They are going to take the safe pick, which is the tackle. But, man, they took swings throughout this draft after the first round, and they waited and waited so patiently. Yeah, I mean, the only thing about Chris Bell is that you've got about, at least 10 wide receivers that I think are in the hopper after you get past that first round that I think you could make a case for all of them. Now, he has a different sort of case, but you can make a lot of cases for a lot of guys after the three, how many in the first round? 5 or 6 in the first round? And when you hit that second round, by the time you get to the Saints, they're going to have a whole bunch of choices between rounds 2, 3, and 4. I'm very confident they're going to take one of them, and Chris Bell is as likely as any of them. But yeah, I don't think the injury would sway him at all. They think he's good, they're going to
go. I'll close us out quickly on this one with someone who I think combines a little bit of all of your players. It is a defensive back that whenever I watch, it's exciting. It makes me go, ooh. And it's in the second round. Miami nickel. That's one we've talked about a ton on this show.
Excellent
but he is someone he would fill in that Alante role with ease and honestly be just about as good immediately. He's super fast, super aggressive, brings the energy on the field. You're not gonna feel the loss of Alante as much as you would if you get a guy like Keontae Scott. He is perfectly molded to fill that role.
Big fan of his game.
Alante Taylor.
It comes down to whether you want to upgrade the position with Mansoor, Delane, or hold at what you had last year. That becomes the.
I think Keontae is an upgrade over Alante.
Okay.
I think he would be an upgrade over Alante just because Alante came in having to learn that position. He played 44 slot snaps in his college career at Tennessee. This is a guy that has played the star role that is featured in Brandon Staley's defense multiple years now, and most recently
489 snaps last year.
Yeah. This is a guy that already knows that role, and you can plug him into. I think even he is an upgrade in terms of what the Saints can do.
I praise.
That's why he makes me go, ooh. All right, I had to get it.
One last one.
When we come back, we're going to continue the draft talk and do a little bracket of pitting some top options at pick number 8 against each other. Guys, all right, man, this is such a terrible, chaotic time of year. Deadline stacking up, inbox overflowing. The one position you still have to fill is sitting open. Maybe you're doing a podcast on a Friday, and then your normal crew's out, and you have to find 2 schmucks to fill the role. Indeed, sponsored jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for: skills, experience, location. So you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. And here's a stat that says it all. In the minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours have made 27 hires on Indeed. 20, that's a lot, 27, according to Indeed data worldwide. So listeners of the show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help your job get the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about it on this show. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. John, I was going to say your resume. Your resume was just.
Is that what you just said?
What?
You said a schmuck? Is that right?
Oh yeah.
Only my wife called me.
That wasn't
schmuck,
about you.
okay?
That was in the ad copy.
Yeah, that's in the ad copy.
Not about you. That was not about you. I really actually pretty crazy that the marketing people over at All right. Let's get into this bracket. I have it set. It is going to be, 4 players on one side, 4 players on this side, me in the middle. Y'all know how a bracket works.
I've bracketed before.
Y'all know how a bracket works. All right. So the first round matchup, Carnell Tate versus Makai Lemon.
Ooh.
Wait, where's the bracket?
It's a matchup.
Wait, you teased the bracket, and it's an imaginary bracket.
This is equally an audio platform. This is equally an audio platform.
Then he should be looking at Indeed.com to update his resume now if he doesn't have the bracket.
Yes. Who's the schmuck now?
You for believing that we'd actually have a bracket.
Still me. Okay.
No, for the first time, like I said, that was not about you. I was not calling you a schmuck.
No, you were just Ron Burgundying it and just reading the words on the paper. Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, Cardell Tate or Mekhi Lemon. I think for me, like, I would cast the first vote here for Carnell Tate. And like, if we're taking into account what it is that the Saints need, I could see value for both of these guys, but I like very much Carnell Tate as more of the 3-level threat, whereas I look at Mekhi Lemon as a little bit more of like the slot, little bit of run after catch. I'm talking about like turning 8 yards into 12 yards kind of run after catch guy and everything. And so my vote would be for Carnell Tate here.
I'm going to second that. Ross gave all the cool statistics and, analysis of each player. I'll just speak from a fan perspective. I watched the highlights of both guys, and while both impressed me, I was like, Carnell Tate kind of just popped out a little bit more.
Yeah, there you go.
And I'm going to be honest, he also already has a little bit goodwill with Saints fans when he did that interview about a month ago when they asked him, hey, which team would you play for? And he mentioned Josh Allen and the Bills, and then Tyler Shuck and the New Orleans Saints. And it was crazy to be like, wow, Tyler Shuck's already being kind of mentioned to these young players along the likes of Josh Allen. So he already kind of made a fan of me with that. So maybe I'll watch his highlight with a bit of rose-colored glasses compared to Mekhi Lemon. But I would go with Carnell Tate as well.
Love that.
Yeah, I'll make it 3. So for a couple of reasons. 1, because I think that's the right choice. And 2, because it means it doesn't matter what Dylan votes, that we're 3-0. We're 3-0 and Dylan's vote becomes moot. So I will go Carnell Tate. Dylan, you can have a vote, but it really doesn't matter.
I just want you to know that I have been trying to make a bracket in Microsoft Paint, and it is hard.
Yeah,
I messed up.
He's like, no one told me I would have to draw lines.
I do it in PowerPoint, and it takes a while. I'll do it like when the Pelicans have made the play-in and all that. I'll make brackets, but man, it's not easy. That's why I was so excited about the possibility of seeing a bracket on the screen. I know it's not easy.
Still mathematically in for play-in contention, by the way. Pelicans. I was in attendance last night when they won.
The Holy Spirit. All we need is to fall in the Holy Spirit, and we got a shot to make it clear.
I was thinking, what exactly would it take? Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, the Holy Spirit.
That's it. You need all 3.
Yeah, right. So Carnell Tate's in?
I would go probably Carnell Tate. I like Mekhi Lemon. It seems like there's a lot of people that both do and don't. That's how life works. Yeah. But it seems like a lot of people are more negative on Mekhi Lemon just because they're like, oh, a slot. But I think the Saints need someone that can, play in the slot.
I agree.
He's a little bit smaller. I'm not worried about the size. Chris Olave is, lighter, but he's not short. He's not a short receiver. So I'm not as worried about the option of them going Mekhi Lemon, but Carnell Tate has won me over a little bit in this draft process. So I'll say that.
Yeah, I just feel like with the depth of that wide receiver class, like Doug highlighted earlier, slot at 8, I'm cool.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I mean? Like, value-wise, I can get that elsewhere. I'd rather somebody that can play inside and out, or at least be like that X receiver.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Do me a favor, make it smaller if you can.
For audio side, there is now a bracket, but don't worry, you won't get left behind here. You're not missing anything at all. I promise you, you're not missing anything at all.
We're very grateful.
This would be an affront to your eyes.
Oh, I can do this now.
And that's exactly why I build it in PowerPoint.
Oh, this is perfect. All right, Carnell Tate moves forward.
Oh, God, how did I do
where
that?
This is going now.
Oh, don't worry about it, Dylan.
All right, so let's go with there we go. Let's go with Jordan Tyson versus Ola Ioane. The Ioane.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was lied to by a pronunciation guide.
Either one. I mean, it's whatever.
Travis Etienne lied for a year, so don't sweat
it. And he didn't lie. He didn't lie. He didn't lie. He told every. He told everybody in 2019 on the very network that said, "I wish that you would have told me sooner."
Yeah, right.
yeah. He said it during his pro day in an interview with Steve Smith Jr.
And I'll say this too, like my name is Mouton, Mouton, which is about the simplest name as it gets. My first job was in South Dakota, and no one could say Mouton. Wow. I would say it rhymes with futon and crouton, and then I would come on TV. They say Doug Mouton is, and I'd say Doug, it's not Doug Mouton. I would say futon, and it would say futon. So I could, and his name is obviously way more complicated than mine because it sounds not like what it looks like.
Right.
Yeah. So I am positive it played out exactly like he said, and that as a 18-year-old in college, he's like, all right, call me whatever you want.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Right. Anyway, Jordan Tyson.
Yes. Anyway, Jordan Tyson. I will back
it very easy.
I love Jordan Tyson. Jordan Tyson 2-0. No, Jono needs to go because we'll see if we can eliminate Dylan again, although we don't have to.
Well, I'm already going to be, having struggles with making sure I say Achan instead of Etienne. I mean, I don't even want to try to pronounce Ola's name. So I'm going with Jordan Tyson too. Mainly because, again, as a fan, I understand that the foundation of a team is always built in through offensive line and defensive line. But man, I'm just in a mood where I want the sexy appliances this draft. I want the big screen TV, all right? I want the smart refrigerator. I don't want the foundation anymore. I want the sexy pick. So give me Jordan Tyson in his options.
I agree with that take. The only thing I'll say is that if the Saints get there and if they have Will Clapp go to the pro day, that's why he's been talked about because Will Clapp went to the Penn State pro day. If they find that he is the best player available, it'll be frustrating, but maybe they did it.
I'm hoping that he takes a Eric McCoy like fall for this, just because he's an interior offensive lineman, and NFL teams will undervalue that, and then he falls to 42.
In the perfect world.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Caleb Downs or Ruben Bain?
I love this one.
I was going to say Doug. We should start with Doug on this one because these are a couple of his guys.
Those are two of my guys. Well, I know where Ross is going.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you what. Can I pass? Let's go, Jono first.
Yeah.
Okay, John.
What do I need to look? I never thought about it in those terms. I need a second.
No, well, Doug has the most anticipated answer, so you got to build the drama. You got to let the.
There you go.
I get it. Man, this is a tough one though because I do like both. I think that Ruben Bain. I don't know how his stock. I guess. I mean, he's still gonna go to top 8 probably, but people are talking about his arms and all that. That doesn't bother me. I see the game film, and he was a wrecking ball on that defensive line. So I was never at any point undersold on what he could possibly bring to any team's defensive line. But I've really, really talked myself into Caleb Downs these past few weeks. I actually think Caleb Downs is probably going to be realistically available, given that his random injury came up during pro day. So there might be a chance that he is available at number 8. And I just think Caleb Downs is someone who would probably be a great piece for Brandon Staley's defense and can be that, I don't want to say Swiss Army knife, but maybe like Brandon Staley could put him in multiple types of positions, and he is going to absolutely shine and just gives this defense almost like an X Factor type player, and be, in my opinion, the superstar player on a defense if we take him. So my vote would be for Caleb Downs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree with that, but I will go Ruben Bain. And look, Jono, I think you said this, and it's perfect about sexy. Like the Saints need some sexy in this draft. Yep. Like they do. They need sexy. I mean, Travis Achan adds.
Did you say sexy again one more time?
This team needs some more sexy. But the thing that I love about Ruben Bain, the more tape you watch, is how good he is against the run. This guy's like an old school 3-down Cam Jordan defensive end. I think he could be that guy, and I think he could just be a rock for a long period of time. Nothing against Caleb Downs because he would have won the bracket maybe in any other head-to-head. But I love Ruben Bain in this draft. I don't know. We'll see. But I will go Ruben Bain knowing that he's probably not going to make it out of this bracket right here.
I'm going to set up Dylan to be a potential deciding vote or tie up situation, which we would have to figure out how we want to handle that. But I'm going to go with Caleb Downs here. Caleb Downs is probably my favorite player in this draft. Doug knows that. I've talked about him so many times. I think Caleb Downs in his rookie year could have as many sacks as Ruben Bain and Brandon Staley.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Caleb Downs for me would go on to be a player that would be the Derwin James type, right? Giving Brandon Staley back that kind of safety, that kind of player. And he would be like the leadership that he would bring, face of the franchise potential type. I just think that he has everything from character to play style that would work perfectly for what the Saints are looking for.
And I am going to give you my answer when we come back.
We call that a tease.
Man, this one's calling y'all schmucks again. No, I'm just, college basketball is nonstop. Big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every single night, from early tip-offs to late night shootouts. There's always action on the board. Maybe a little bit less action if you're a fan of like Louisiana basketball. Sorry, Jono. I thought Master P was going to get UNO back in there. That's just me. LSU's having their own thing. The women are there, and the Southern women are there. But, maybe not as exciting of a March. But with FanDuel, you can stay invested in the action either way. You can build any college hoops parlay you want. Rivalry games, ranked matchups, whatever fits your read. You can mix spreads, totals, player props to match how you see the slate playing out. And then you can apply the profit boost and instantly bump up that potential payout. Go safe, go bold, ride with the team you've been following all season long. It's your parlay, your style, now with more upside behind it. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game.
I saw the news about Master P wanting to possibly become Arizona. I don't know if it's Arizona. It was some team's head coach, which I understand. You always want to go up. But it kind of hurt me. I'm like, dang, I thought we were going to at least have Master P for like 3 or 4 years where he really built the team before he saw greenest pastures. But I understand. Make him say, huh? It made me go,
That'll be the next first segment. Will be what draft prospect makes you say,
if for no other reason than to make Doug upset, Ruben Bain is eliminated.
Yeah. That's good because I didn't know what to do when we get to the other side.
There you go.
All right. Now to Ohio State, very good linebackers, and I think it depends on what do you think. Do you think the Saints need a little bit more off-ball help? Do you think they need a little bit more edge help? Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, another 2 great players.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go first. I'll be honest. I didn't really even register Sonny Styles on my Bengal card until his incredible pro day, one of the best pro days I've ever seen, to be honest. So that really grabbed my attention. And going by this bracket with Sonny Styles versus Arvell Reese, this is the first time that I've seen any possibility of even the thought of Arvell Reese falling to number 8. So Arvell Reese is kind of not registered on my radar because it seems like the consensus is he's not going to make it past the top 3 picks. So I never gave too much attention to Arvell Reese because I just never thought that it was a realistic possibility. If by chance he falls to number 8, my first question will be, well, what did the experts get so wrong that he went from a top 3 to number 8? So I almost feel obligated to say, well, you got to take Arvell Reese, right? Like he's a consensus top 3 pick, but I've fallen so in love with Sonny Styles and possibility of him falling to number 8 after that incredible pro day that I got to go with the guy that I've actually been watching. I just have not watched enough Arvell Reese personally because I just didn't think that he was a realistic option for the Saints at number 8.
Fair. I'll cast my vote for Arvell Reese here because I think it's the tweener status that could potentially force a fall for him. Sometimes teams talk themselves out of players if they don't have a clear vision for where it is that they fit. It's clear where Arvell Reese would fit in Brandon Staley's defense as a pass rusher or a drop back linebacker, stand-up guy, or somebody that could play off ball. Kind of like what they invested in Caden Ellis, but with a whole other level of athleticism here. And so I'll cast my vote for Arvell Reese. If he's there at 8, that would be an easy selection for me. But mostly because of his specific fit in Brandon Staley's defense.
Yeah, I think they could use a tweener. They could certainly use another guy off the edge. He would certainly be the opposite of Chase Young on the other side and potentially spectacular together. Yeah, I would say Arvell Reese. I don't think it seems very realistic that he'd be there at 8, but it would. I think that would certainly help. Look, I certainly think this team needs some pass rushing help, and he would give you that pretty instantly.
Yeah.
This has been a big change for me, and I think we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do because I'm going Sonny Styles. If both players were on the board today, I'd go Sonny Styles. I think it was that big crazy pro day, but it's not just the numbers. Then you go back and you watch and you see it on film. Whenever you watch Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles stands out. Whenever you watch Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese stands out. I think they're both great. And I think with what the Saints need right now, especially Ross brought it up with Caden Ellis, I think Sonny Styles is the biggest game changer for this defense without DeMario Davis.
Yeah. Anybody got a coin that we can flip? I usually have my Zulu coin. I can't find it anywhere.
Between Dilly and Ross to see who goes on between
fight.
It's more than a game, right? Come on, now.
Dylan wins.
No, I couldn't hurt you.
That's what I was going to say. I could never hurt Dylan.
Dylan's in the lead chair. I think Dylan gets 1.01 votes.
There you go. All right, Sonny Styles it is.
Oh, I was going to do.
And I was
going to do heads. Heads is Sonny Styles, and tails is Arvell Reese.
All right, we can do it that way too if you'd rather.
The audio people,
I would say
audio. Flip
a coin.
Tails.
Oh, it's Arvell Reese. I mean, we could also factor in here that Sonny Styles is the more realistic, realistic one out of the two.
Can I make an executive decision and say that Arvell Reese was not faulting number 8, so it should be Sonny Styles? Yeah, thank you. That's
what an executive decision's like. That was a very good executive decision. Usually my thing is when people say, can I make an executive decision to do this? The answer is no, because you asked. I love the way that you said, yes, I can, thank you, and then went ahead and made the executive decision.
Slow transition.
All right. That's the way that should be.
We can go
I love it.
We can go a little bit quicker with these next ones. Carnell Tate versus Jordan Tyson.
Jordan Tyson. I'm Jordan
Tyson.
What?
Dylan? Yeah.
Ooh. I'm Jordan Tyson.
There you go.
Yeah, Tyson's my guy.
Tony, I fell in love with Carnell Tate after he said Josh Allen. And
right.
I get it. I get it.
Need people to buy in.
Yeah.
Caleb Downs versus Sonny Styles.
Wait, can I go first? Since I didn't go from last, I'm going Caleb Downs.
Caleb Downs.
Caleb Downs.
Yeah. I love it.
All right.
This is going to be super interesting.
Oh, I like this one.
Caleb Downs versus Jordan Tyson, also known as Lance Moore's favorite scenario ever.
Yeah, for real. This would make Lance very happy. What won't make Lance very happy is that I'm picking Caleb Downs.
No, of course you are. I knew that. And you know what? I'll take Jordan.
That's why I got it out of the way.
I'll take Jordan Tyson. You know what? Jono said it. I want sexy.
There you go.
Yeah. And here I'm going to be unsexy and say, give me Caleb Downs. Jordan Tyson is an incredible name. Like, Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson, Jordan Tyson. That's an incredible name, but I got to go Caleb Downs. I've fallen too much in love with him to not pick him.
And you don't have to worry about the injury question marks as much. Caleb Downs stuff was reported, not confirmed. Whereas like Jordan Tyson has concerning injury stuff in his history. So at least you don't have to worry about that.
All right.
Caleb Downs is the winner.
Woohoo!
Welcome to New Orleans.
All right. Now, in the most New Orleans way possible, we're about 8 minutes late to get into this segment. What are the most New Orleans moments of the past year? Doug teased it earlier.
The past year? Oh no, I want to do the past whatever.
Past month. Whatever.
Yeah, past couple of weeks. Past week.
That's fine.
Look,
Doug, let's get into it.
Look, Tyler Shuck's explanation for why he was ripping, and he was ripping it in Pygmalion.
Yeah.
Why he was ripping it, that maybe perhaps it was, quote, too many beers. That is the greatest. And look, okay, this is way too deep dive, right? But when I heard that, I thought this guy has a great sense of when he can push it a little bit with what he can say and what he can get away with and what's funny and what might cross a line. But in this case, obviously it doesn't. But he knows where the line is. He runs right up to it, and he is genuinely funny. So a few things strike me about just him saying it. First of all, it's funny as hell. Like, I literally laughed out loud when I saw the quote, "too many beers." Like really, dude? Like, you got to say that out loud. It's beautiful. But I also thought, look, for a long time we had Drew Brees, who did not push that line, was extremely guarded in what he said, was calculated about, and I do not mean that as a criticism. He was, because look where he is now post-football, but he was calculated about every word that came out of his mouth, and he would have never made a joke like that and I think of Tyler Shuck when he did the slide and got hit late and drew the foul and doing the walk off the field.
The beanie weenie. He did the beanie weenie. Yeah,
I think like he has got a sense for when to be funny, when to tap into that funny, how to tap into it in a way that is funny but doesn't cross the line. Look, if he becomes a star quarterback, I think he is going to be a national spokesperson in a huge way because he's funny and he's natural at it and he gets it at a sense that is that part of it. He gets it at a sense that not a lot of guys do. Most guys are either too guarded or say too much. He knows right how to go to that line about how to say what people are thinking and is funny without going over the line. So all those things hit me at the same time. One, that it was funny, and one that is very him, is that he gets it at another level of where he is in the social stratosphere. He understands it. And it's beautiful. And you want to tap it in New Orleans, just say something funny about drinking too much. That's an easy way that your audience can be like, "Oh yeah, I've been there."
I love it.
Getting shucked tonight. Getting shucked. I mean, yeah, it is. You could be anything that he's like. He is just perfectly encapsulated. It is such a nice refresher after. The one before, the quarterback before, and how little he connected to this city.
There was one time, I've said this before, one time Drew Brees really opened up was the Thursday night game in Atlanta when Alvin Kamara had the concussion and a whole bunch of guys got hurt in that game, and he just ripped into the NFL for making them play that day. It was the one time he was so angry that he didn't control every word that he said. And honestly, for me, I covered him for 10 years. And in 10 years, it was the only time that I felt like he was just free flowing what he meant. And Tyler Shuck, I feel like, does that all the time. And again, I don't mean that as a criticism of Drew Brees. That's who he is.
No.
We're all different. And Shuck is just funny. And funny is awesome in New Orleans.
Yeah. Mine was going to be all the Saints players riding on all the floats in Mardi Gras, like they've gotten back to doing it. And so I'll quickly just say that because it's relevant to what Doug said. But that's my vote. That's my.
I got hit by a Saints player in Mardi Gras by a bead.
I thought you just got hit by one. I was like, dang, what'd you do?
No, what was your take, huh? To get hit by one.
I called him a schmug.
I will pick. I had an actual completely different answer, but just to piggyback off it's the most New Orleans thing, the Mardi Gras theme. I love that. The past few years, Jameis Winston was out and about in the crowd doing Mardi Gras. Sean Payne, all the Saints, Pelicans. CJ McCollum rode in the Mardi Gras parade this year. Not even with the Pelicans. I love that.
Shaz Preston from Tulane was back just for the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Come on now. That's what I mean when I say, it's more than a game. It's like because these athletes who really embrace the culture in the city of New Orleans. And I love everybody go out seeing the athletes, past and present, come to the city and enjoy it with the fans, not like the old big timers or whatever. Tyler Shuck, even after he rode in the parade, was at the parades, with the fans, just enjoying it. That's how you make New Orleans love you back. Now, here's my original answer, and I do stand by this answer because I wanted to go something recent too, like what Doug said. Let's do something recent. Tyler Shuck and Drew Brees at the Savannah Bananas games was really fun. And it just, I know that the Savannah Bananas, they do local stuff every time they go to whatever city they go to, but just to see back-to-back days of our past and hopefully our present and future, like really show that New Orleans is all about a good time and had the Superdome crowd euphoric. I mean, that almost was like Drew Brees' farewell, almost like the standing ovation. You got a Stone Cold Steve Austin like pop when he came.
Right.
Incredible. And now it's just like, it made me go. That's why I'm proud to be a New Orleanian. That's why I just love when our players embrace our team, because they take an event like a baseball game, the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball, but ingrain New Orleans into it. It just felt so New Orleans, and I loved every second of it.
That's awesome.
That's good.
Yeah.
Dylan?
Ross?
Oh no, mine was all the players that were involved in parades, because there was like a little bit of a lull in that for a little while, and now it like ticked back up, and I love it.
Yeah, mine was mostly going to be around this time, so I'm going to take this chance to tell the story about a player that's not on the team anymore, but it really just encapsulated why he did so well. That's Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
I went to one of the DeMario Davis Devoted Dreamers like events, and this was right after Jameis got hurt, and he was on the crutches, and he walked in to the room of this big ballroom of this charity event with both. And he did the he was like waving the crutches like in the air and like screaming. He was like, "What up?" And then this old lady comes up to him and is like, "Hello." That's my old person voice. Hello. And then he puts him down, serious face. "So nice to meet you, ma'am." And then turned away and started partying again.
Yeah.
And that is just like such a, New Orleans.
We've all been there.
Respect. It is a city of respect. Respect your neighbors, treat everyone, love everybody, and then also party and have fun and go crazy. And I think that is why he connected, and it's the same reason why Tyler Shuck is connecting.
That was Ross doing his WWL TV Mardi Gras coverage when he.
There you go. We did.
Yeah.
And look, Jameis Winston was really interesting too, because when he got to New Orleans, from what he dealt with in Tampa, he was very walled off and closed up. And for his first year, you'd ask him a question, you'd get short answers, you'd get cliches, and then a little bit more as he saw nobody was out to get him. Everybody was like laughing with him after the interviews. He opened up a little bit more and a little bit more. And then one day he said, "You know what? I'm just going to be me." And he showed up, and it's been beautiful ever since. But he has the way he blossomed, off the field, and that happened in New Orleans was really interesting to watch.
He is set for life post-playing career with his media career. And I'm almost
because of what happened in New Orleans.
Yes, I just wanted to tell you, Doug, I'm almost a little jealous. Like I appreciate that he's expanding his reach, I guess, by playing in all these other cities, including New York, where he really gets the ultimate reach as far as being, a household name. But man, I get a little jealous. I'm like, no, Cleveland can't enjoy him. Only New Orleans can enjoy him. New York can't enjoy him. Only New Orleans should enjoy him, because we were the first city that really embraced what he was after his virtuous relationship with Tampa Bay. But I'm proud to see him thrive. I just get a little jealous because I'm like, we had him first. I mean, they had him
you
first.
feel a claim to him.
Had him first.
I had my son backstage at the WWE event when Raw was here. I called in a favor to get backstage passes, and my son and his friend were backstage. And Jameis Winston was back there because, of course, one of the wrestlers is his friend. This is as he's leaving in free agency, and he saw him and he went, "Wait a second. Are you not covering this? Are you just here with your family?" Like, he didn't get it because I guess I always have the microphone. I said, "Yeah, we're just here for fun." He goes, "Let's go take pictures." And so I've got pictures of me and my son and Jameis, and it was
that's awesome.
at the Raw
I'm sorry,
John's mind is blown right now.
When Doug say I called in a favor to go backstage at WWE, now my mind is like, Doug, can I be your son in September? Please, Doug, I know this is my first time actually.
I probably shouldn't have said that, but I did. I will say, John, I do a lot of work for free. And when I do the free, sometimes the people who haven't paid me to do work, if I feel like they can do me a favor that's going to help my son, I will call it a favor. It's the only one I called it.
Family first. Family first.
So family first. We went backstage. It was freaking awesome, too.
I love that.
I'm jealous.
Right. Well, we've said a lot of things that were right today, but we've all been wrong in some way. I was right, about the little schmuck thing, but y'all were wrong about me. You're just wrong about me. So let's get into what else we were wrong about.
But wait, we like you.
That was a flop. I didn't like that one. That was bad. Can't always be good at improv.
We can all.
All right, let's go back into this episode. Wrapping it up today. We're going to talk about what we were wrong about. All right, Ross, I think it's you.
Yeah, I'll start off on this one. I was wrong about Kellen Moore. I was 100% wrong about Kellen Moore. When I was going through the process of listing and we were talking about all the different coaches that could potentially take the job and everything, I had Kellen Moore ranked pretty low behind guys like Joe Brady and other guys that ended up not getting jobs during that coaching cycle, by the way. And one of the big reasons was that I was worried that he was going to be I was worried that he wasn't going to be forceful enough to help the organization change direction. An organization that at times came off as pretty stubborn in terms of trying to expand or extend a level of success that they were no longer attaining. And so going to Dennis Allen and keeping Dennis Allen for a little bit too long, keeping Pete Carmichael for a little bit too long, all those things. I thought, hey, the thing that the Saints need to do the most is at least fail trying something new if they're going to fail. And so my concern was that bringing in Kellen Moore, they wouldn't turn to a new direction and that he wouldn't be forceful enough to drive a new direction. And Kellen Moore has done exactly that. He has driven an entirely new direction for this team. Everything from building a culture that not only players want to remain a part of, but want to come and be a part of, as is evidenced by a free agency class that was so good that it makes you forget about the losses of DeMario Davis, Cam Jordan, Taysom Hill, Alontae Taylor, and Foster Morrow. You have a culture that withstood a 1-7 start that was then preempted by a quarterback change, then a 2-10 record before a 4-game win streak in their first one in over, I think it was 5 years. That for me, and now the optimism and promise that this team has after a 5-year playoff drought can be immediately connected to the hire of Kellen Moore, who had just won a Super Bowl, brought that, or actually just kind of stayed in New Orleans in a way, right? He won the Super Bowl here with Philly and has done such an excellent job, not just being the X's and O's guy, but driving and creating the new culture of the New Orleans Saints. I was dead wrong about my concerns around him not being able to do exactly that.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Look, a lot of people had that tact.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was a legitimate tact. It was an organization that had done things one way for a long time. And what we kept saying was we need an alpha dog to walk in there and say, we got to do this different. And Kellen Moore doesn't immediately give off alpha dog vibes.
Right.
But he sure was that guy. He
absolutely was. I was dead wrong about that. And it's awesome. It's awesome to watch.
That's awesome. It really has been, because he's done it a different way. Well, since I'm already talking, I'll say, look, I was wrong about Tyler Shuck. I didn't see it. And the first time I heard that he was in play in the second round, and that was a few days before the draft when you get serious about it, like there's no way. There's no way. And I guess I had just seen the superficial stuff and didn't deep dive into it enough. But man, and then as soon as they took him, you realize the combine numbers, his speed and his, his physicality was good. And then you watch him throw. And the one comparison that I've had from him from the beginning is Tyler Glasnow, who's one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's just this big, long, lean, spectacular delivery that the ball shoots out of his hands. Then you say, oh, you know what? Maybe. And you start thinking right off the bat, okay, maybe I was wrong. Can he stay healthy? Sure enough, he did. Can he run? And there was that play in training camp. Ross, you remember the long scrimmage, the 8,000 play scrimmage?
126 plays. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it was either that or 8,000.
Yeah, it was one of those two.
And he took off on just one of the regular designed runs.
Yep.
And I remember going, oh, he can. Now, they're not tackling him or anything, but just watching him in person run, I went, okay, he can run a little bit. And then the biggest wow play of the entire football season was the third play of the game in Carolina. He gets a third offensive play of the game. He gets sacked on play 2, and on play 3, he goes back. The rush breaks through. He steps up in the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield, finds Juwan Johnson. It was a 3rd and 19. I think they got like 34, 36 yards. That was the single most wow play for the Saints for me in the last probably 5 years.
That was the play that made you say,
That was the play that made me say, this guy in one play might be our quarterback. Like in one play. He went from this guy to like all of a sudden the upside exploded for me. So, and I was wrong from the start about him, and how more people didn't see how the whole NFL was wrong. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I will piggyback off of Doug. I was completely wrong about Tyler Shough. Now, to be fair, a lot of fans were too, but I'm one of the fans who likes to create content, and I filmed it's now kind of infamous draft day reaction to when we took Tyler Shough, because I was bewildered. I had no idea who Tyler Shough was. I'm just being honest. A week before the draft. So I was like, who is this guy? Are you kidding me? We are taking this guy with the number 40 pick. And it is a reaction that I decided to leave up because I'm not afraid to be wrong when it comes to the Saints, especially if it turns out to be a good wrong. Like, hey, oh, wow, silly me. My team proved me wrong. Now they're good. That I don't mind if Nike ever calls one day and say, hey, we want to do the Tyler Shough commercial where he showed all the non-believers, how they look. Can we use your clip? I would say, absolutely, please use it. I hope Tyler Shough sees it one day because I'm like, I want to apologize to him in person. Like, dude, I was really wrong and loud. Like, it's one thing to be wrong, like Doug says he was wrong, but I was loud and wrong. Like, he probably were watching and saying, who is this little curly hair idiot thinking that he knows about me? That's why I always say, one, I'm a fan. I'm not an analyst, so I don't mind being wrong. But two, also, don't listen to me when it comes to quarterbacks, because I hate to put myself out there like this, but social media was not around in 2006, but another great take I had was when the Saints signed Drew Brees. I was like, what? Why are we signing Drew Brees?
You were not alone. You were not alone in that.
Right there for the number 2 pick, and we are signing this has-been quarterback who probably can't even throw past 40 yards anymore. Never listen to Jono Barnes when it comes to quarterback picks. I am so proud to be wrong, and I truly hope one day I can look at Tyler Shough and say, Tyler Shough, I am sorry for how wrong I was. And like Doug Mouton mentioned earlier in a segment about, how Tyler Shough just from day one embraced the fans. That's what I did notice, even though I was a non-believer. And I wasn't even I was a non-believer up until
what a pro
the season. Like, even, you guys saw him up close and you're like, oh, they actually might have something. I didn't believe it. I thought that he was going to start at some point. I think the Rattler fans got crazy mad at me because I'm like, y'all are crazy if y'all don't think at any point Kellen Moore's going to play the guy he took at the top 40 pick. But I thought, they're going to play Tyler Shough. He's going to be average. We're going to be back into the Arch Manning sweepstakes in 2026 or 2027. But I did notice that from day one, even though me and a lot of other fans were like, we don't want Tyler Shough, and they had some stupid fans were like on his Instagram post the day he got drafted, getting mad at him. I was like, y'all a little too far now. Like, y'all can say it on y'all platform. Don't go in that man's moment and, try to crap on him. But he still embraced the city. He still showed his personality. He still had fun with it. And I was like, that's what I had a little small feeling that, hey, maybe he is something that we can enjoy. And he's proven to be that. And I am so happy that I was wrong about Tyler Shough.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's great.
I definitely, I was in the same boat as y'all. I was definitely wrong about Tyler Shough. I think me and Ross did like an immediate reaction, like 10 minutes after the draft pick happened. And I was definitely on the more negative side. Now, obviously, I hate being wrong. I always like to have an out. So I hedged my bet and I was like, oh, he could have. It could be good. But I was wrong. I was wrong. And so I'll switch about something else I was wrong about. And it's something I think a lot of Saints fans have switched course on. And that was the Devon Vele trade. I was like, wow, you're trading a 4th and a 7th for this 27-year-old second-year wide receiver. Whenever you have somebody needs you're rebuilding, you need that 4th round pick. I think this season did everything to show. Now you're not worried about that 4th round pick. No one's looking at this draft and be like, man, I really wish they had another 4th instead of Devon Vele. Now it's, well, they don't even need Carnell Tate because they have Devon Vele in the league. And I don't think it's that far, but I think it's just not a disastrous trade. And I definitely see the value whenever he played with Tyler Shough, limited time last year, but he looked really good. And it looks like he complements Chris Olave very well and could complement another wide receiver if they get another shiftier guy, like a Chris Bell. Man, Chris Olave, Chris Bell. What is it? Does he do anything to you?
It makes me go, ooh.
There we go. All right. Well, I want to thank Jono and Doug so much for coming to hang out. This was a blast. This was so much fun. And thank you for listening to the Saints Squad show. You can check out Jono, Doug, Ross, myself, and even Lance, Darian, and John on our socials for the latest for all of your up-to-date Saints news. Check out Ross Jackson. And if you want to laugh, check out Jono. And if you watch the news because you're Doug's
if you want to cry. I thought that's what was coming.
And then for me, come back here on Monday or Tuesday, whenever we do the next episode of the Saints Squad Show. Peace.